Greetings, my name is Saberlord Oboeshoes, and I'm here because I love H.P. Lovecraft. As the creator of the Cthulhu mythos and inventor of the cosmic horror story, H.P. Lovecraft is well regarded as one of the greatest horror authors of all time. Naturally, the time would come for his work to be adapted for younger readers. That time came in 2009 when the graphic novel Howard Lovecraft and the Frozen Kingdom was released. And last year, it received an animated adaptation. However, it was also direct-to-DVD, which aren't well known for their quality. So let's find out if this will take us to the Dreamlands or into the Mountains of Madness. We begin the movie with one of Lovecraft's most famous quotes.
The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown.
This is a great way to introduce a young audience to Lovecraft, seeing as how this is essentially his writings in a nutshell. We then transfer to a shot zooming onto the house from Scary Godmother as the title comes on and we meet our protagonist, the young Howard Lovecraft with two black eyes. I know this is Lovecraft, so I was expecting some disturbing content, but child abuse was not one of them.
Howard? Howard, dear, are you scared? There's no need to be frightened. The storm can't hurt you.
It's not that, Mother. It's just tonight's the night we visit Father in the bad place.
Oh, Howard. He's really looking forward to seeing you. You're all he has left.
Well, so far we're off to a good start. Continuing on the theme of fear from the introductory quote and tying it in with the young Lovecraft's family tragedy. So Howard and his mother go visit what may or may not be Arkham Sanitarium, and it's every bit as creepy as you would expect. We meet the head psychiatrist Dr. West, whom you might think is the villain from his ominous glare, but he isn't. There is also a security guard in attire that looks a little too modern.
Mrs. Lovecraft, I wish I could tell you that seeing his son would be therapeutic for your husband, but Winfield's mind is like a shattered looking glass. That's a good one. Shattered looking glass. But in all honesty, I'm more concerned about the harm it could do to the boy to see his father in this state.
I was hoping on his birthday he could actually see his son.
Oh, why listen to me? I'm merely a highly trained professional with expert opinions on the secrets of life and death.
I don't know. Whatever am I to do?
Come along, Mrs. Lovecraft, come along. A little fatherly fear never hurt anyone. I hear a lot of writers are made that way, in fact.
And you have to admit, this scene does a pretty good job of setting up a creepy atmosphere and... Wait, why is there a square hole in the ceiling?
Howard, the words, the symbols. Do not look. Do not listen. Do not read.
Father!
Swear it! King Abdul, the Necronomicon. The words, the symbols, they will lead to the sleeper of Relay. The great old one. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange eon, even death may die.
Please!
The Necronomicon. Destroy it, Howard. Destroy it for my sake. For yours.
Oh, what do you think you're doing?
You must remain sleeping. The Necronomicon must be destroyed, son.
Help!
Swear you'll destroy it! Cthulhu cannot awake!
Restrain him.
I see the symbols. And it's madness!
It's okay, Howard. Mummy's here.
Madness!
Well, so far this is very satisfactory. We've established the Lovecraftian themes of fear and madness, name-dropped plenty of his most famous creations, interwoven this with Lovecraft's own tragic childhood, and done it all in a manner fairly appropriate for its young target audience. But we're only 6.5 minutes in, so hopefully this will continue. That night, Howard can't sleep, so his mother gives him his father's old journal. Howard reads about his father's exploits into forbidden knowledge, and I love everything about this scene, especially this shot right here.
The excitement of new
It
horizons
conveys how
to
the
come
young
would
Howard's
always bring
imagination
terror,
was
for
cultivated
his
by the horror
horror
tales he read
only
as a
drove me
child.
on.
Suddenly emboldened, I drew my pistol on the old boy. At the service end of my firearm, the frightened man wrote the words in the creature's unsanctified language. They were...
Nerferga Ranazen Flugen. Hello? Am I dreaming? I see something. What is that?
Howard is forcibly sucked down the portal and wakes up surrounded by crummy snow and rock CGI. He soon comes across a star spawn of Cthulhu.
Wheezy, stand down. Stand down. Hey, what did I just say? Okay. Okay.
I think you could show a little more fear of that thing. After all, it's nothing like anything you've seen on Earth. It should take a while for your mind to even begin to comprehend what you're looking at before talking to it like a dog. At least, that was the point of coming across one of Lovecraft's monsters. Don't tell me we're going to start abandoning his principles this early. Anyway, Howard successfully outruns the star spawn relatively... Probably because it attended the Bill Cipher school of chasing weak young children. The star spawn clumsily trips into a chasm, and after he promises not to eat the young Howard, is pulled out by the sickly young boy.
Save life, you master. Me, Tutu Hamong.
Tutu Hamong. I can't find that name anywhere in Lovecraft's writings, but that name has a very strong Chinese Vietnamese ring to it. And like a typical white person, Howard can't pronounce an East Asian name and thus gives him a stupid nickname.
Susu, you mean?
Tutu Hamong.
Susu Studio?
Tutu Hamong.
I literally have no idea what you're saying. I'm gonna call you... Spot.
Spot. Spot?
Spot.
Spot.
While Spot takes Howard away, a blue goblin notices them and flies away on one of Da Vinci's lines of children's toys. He flies to the castle of Algid Bunk, the ruler of this strange land, who believes Howard to be the prophesied chosen one. She also has a masked assistant.
Go back out there and find them. That shouldn't be too hard for the likes of you. Please do keep an eye on guests. I want to make sure they arrive here safe and sound.
At once, Your Highness.
After some bonding, Spot takes Howard to a stone cabin, where the young residents offer food and shelter.
My manners. I'm Gotha, and this is my brother David. He doesn't speak. Do come in. It's as he says. It'll be night soon. It gets very cold.
I would believe that. What about Spot?
Sorry, I'm afraid he'll have to stay outside.
Spot is fine. Body not get cold.
Well, all right, if you say so. Whoa! Sorry? You're home. It's so big in here.
Of course it is. Is that strange to you?
Where I'm from, our buildings are the same size on the outside and the inside.
Fascinating.
You have dark circles under your eyes.
Huh?
I love food. Are you Father Dagon?
No.
Gotha mentions they had met Howard's father before, and they all sit down to a meal of blue seahorse ravioli.
Gran, where you're from?
No. Not really. Where I'm from, we eat green veggies and farm animals.
It squishes in my mouth.
Howard, tell us of these Fahar animals.
Oh, we keep the bigger animals in special areas. We drink their milk, wear their hides, and eat their meat. Not sure about the rest.
How destructive these creatures must be, that you have to devour them. Elder ones forbid that they ever invade us.
Oh, they're very gentle. We keep animals as pets, too.
We're not supposed to play with their food.
That might have been a subtle argument for vegetarianism. If so, it was pretty well done, as it made its point and wasn't forced at all.
How is it that I can talk to you? Did someone teach you English?
Not exactly. We share what we call a lanaf. Kinda means transmission would be the right word. We can speak without speaking. It's rather special that you can do it, really.
Could my father-in-law night?
Lanaf.
Yeah, that. Could my father do that?
Oh my, yes. His was particularly strong. He'd chat with us from many miles away. Some nights, I swear I can still hear him. You should try it. Just focus and listen.
So they actually have a decent explanation of how characters who shouldn't be able to speak English can. Also, the ability to Lanaf might be related to the recurring eyeshadow, but that's just a theory. So anyway, Gotha goes on to explain about the terrible things in the land.
The world may look cool and peaceful, but you have to be very careful, Howard. Your father, he was curious. He liked to explore. Perhaps he saw too much of our world. There are things that can harm you in more ways that you can ever imagine. If you wake them, there may never be a chance of you getting back home.
Well, I mean, I could be grumpy when I wake up too.
No, it's more than that, Howard. The one who sleeps, Cthulhu.
The great dreamer. The sleeper of Relay.
There are ancient creatures here, Howard. He is the king of them. The power you need to go home may be strong enough to wake him. You have to be very careful in your travels. You have to be even more careful of who you call your friend. It tastes really good when they wiggle, right?
Yeah, it's so good.
Wait, so the blue seahorses can wiggle around like defenseless, gentle animals? Kinda negates the whole vegetarian thing from earlier. That night, Howard dreams about a book and a gate connected to a castle. Spot knows of such a castle, and the two begin to travel there. Along the way, they stop so that Howard can teach Spot about having fun in the snow. They build snowmen. Where did the coal and scarves and carrots come from? This leads to a snowball fight, which begins as a Western standoff, and then becomes a nod to the Matrix. Haven't seen one of those in a while.
actually. That was kind of funny.
They find the castle in the city of Relay. They enter the city, approach the castle, and are approached from behind by goblin guards. This leads to the movie's biggest problem: its crappy action scenes.
A few moments later.
They both wake up chained over a boiling pot. They escape easily, and Spot defeats the guards easily, which makes me wonder how they got caught in the first place.
Efficient.
Algid Bunk would like to apologize for the misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? You tried to cook us.
Yes, and didn't she want them to be delivered safe and sound? So now those action scenes were both crappy as well as pointless. They meet Algid, who repeats her claim of Howard to be the chosen one to end the eternal winter. She gives a lecture on Relay's history in some decent flash animation.
Cthulhu was spawned. Cthulhu and his hordes, hidden in green slimy vaults, sunk the city of Relay, flooding the once great kingdom. Relay became a nightmare corpse city built by the vast, loathsome shapes that seeped down from the dark stars. The citizens believed if they could take away the water, the Cthulhu would lose his power. In an act of desperation, the citizens of Relay froze their kingdom. Cthulhu was gone. But our beautiful kingdom had become our frozen prison. No one knows if this story is true, but we all agree. If there's a way to end this mind-numbing coldness, we would do anything. But nothing has changed. Nothing at all. Until your father arrived. He journeyed the entire land, our kingdom included, writing about his findings. He rediscovered the powerful runes the people of Relay used so long ago to freeze our kingdom. He wrote and drew these lost secrets into 3 books. One of the books, we believe the second book, was stolen from your father by an elder thing. It has been deep underground with his shoggoth ever since.
What's a shoggoth?
It is a terrible, indescribable thing. A shapeless congeries of protoplasmic bubbles with myriads of temporary eyes forming and unforming. Quite nasty.
Ew.
As the book held captive by the shoggoth holds many ancient spells, there's a good chance that it may be the key to both ending the eternal winter and getting Howard back home. Thus Howard agrees to get the book back for Algid. Howard and Spot travel to the Shoggoth's cave the next day.
That must be the shoggoth. It's hideous.
You're best pals with a humanoid frog dragon with an octopus for a head. And a penguin is what you consider to be hideous. Well, you are Lovecraft after all.
Spot, you're not gonna fit.
Cave too small.
You stay here, I'll get the book, and I'll come right back. We have a deal with the king.
She not king.
Well, who was the last king?
King Abdul. Very bad.
Abdul the poet?
Abdul many things. Not poet. Magic. Dark.
Well, we have a kingdom to save, even if the king isn't home right now.
After mistaking a walking path for a slide, he finds a crystal chamber with one of his father's books.
Take a look.
I found it, Spot!
Take a look.
That was easy.
Now let's get out of here before the shoggoth.
Okay, I'm really looking forward to seeing the shoggoth. It's the most horrendous, disgusting thing in the entire mythos, so...
Hey! Ah!
Who dares disturb the sleep of Shoggoth?
Yeah!
Tell me, before I crush you.
That's a bit disappointing. Don't get me wrong, it's ugly and terrifying and has loads of eyes, but it also has a clearly solid body with a humanoid face. This goes very much against how it was described in both Lovecraft's writings and earlier in this movie.
Is a terrible, indescribable thing. A shapeless congeries of protoplasmic bubbles with myriads of temporary eyes forming and unforming. Quite nasty.
Ew.
Just for comparison, here's a much more accurate depiction of the shoggoth from an animated film.
Run!
Run! But if you're gonna give the shoggoth a humanoid face, you'd might as well give it a humanoid voice. And there's no better voice to give it than the voice of Ron Perlman. Yes, that Ron Perlman. In fact, seeing his name on the top of the cover is the only reason I bought this. Other characters with celebrity voice actors are Algid Bunk, voiced by Jane Curtin, Dr. West, voiced by Christopher Plummer, and that masked man, who is credited as Nyarlathotep, and is voiced by the guy who played Pinhead. Also, those stupid goblins are portrayed by legendary voice actor Scott McNeil. So you may be wondering who's voicing the main characters. Well, it's actually a family. Spot is voiced by Sean Patrick O'Reilly, who also wrote and directed this movie and is the CEO of the film studio Arcana. He also produced it alongside his wife Michelle, who voices Howard's mother. Their son Kiefer is the voice of Howard, and their daughters Harmony, Phoenix, and Summer voice the three Squid Girls. So it's pretty awesome that this movie was a family project. And even more awesome that it has Ron Perlman.
Tell me who you are.
You want to know who I am? I am Howard Lovecraft.
Lovecraft. This name is known to me.
How?
You are not the first pale young mortal of that name to venture here.
Then, my father.
Yes, the other one looked much the same as you, and he was every bit as curious. He sought an audience with the Deep One. His hunger for knowledge had no equal. Why else would he journey so deep?
What did you tell him?
I gave to him words. Words of power. Words that would break down the walls between worlds. Words that would burn up his mind if he dwelled on them.
But why?
So the fool, Lovecraft, could spread my words out among the stars. Let the walls between worlds come tumbling down, and let the slumbering Deep Ones rise. Since you have found your way here, he must have succeeded.
No.
What do you mean, no?
We, that's me and Spot, we just came here to borrow this book.
Spot? Your Spot. Does he have wings?
Yes.
And his face, covered in tentacles?
Yes.
That is Cthulhu. You are calling him Spot?
He is my friend.
No, he is not your friend. He is the sleeper of Relay. He is the destroyer of worlds. I have opened the door, but you woke him up and have brought him through.
Spot!
Well, it seems I was wrong to have called Spot a Starspawn. That really is Cthulhu before he awakens. But a cosmic horror story is no match for the power of friendship as Spot rushes to Howard's aid.
No! Spot, no! You ain't my friend!
No, he is no friend. I have not stopped the great old one. He is too powerful. When the sleeper finally does awake, then Cthulhu will eat you himself. Cthulhu is the destroyer of worlds.
You're wrong! Spot is not a monster. He's my friend.
Enough of this. I have delayed long enough. You are no one, Howard Lovecraft, and you have nothing. Nothing in this world to save you. Ah! The Elder Sign!
Spot! 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 Spot, oh thank heavens you're alright!
While flying back to Relay, Spot explains the significance of the coin.
Oh! What is it, Spot? What happened?
Elder Sign! Here, in Relay, words have power. Symbols, more power. Elder Sign, greatest power.
So, symbols have power, and the Elder Sign is powerful enough to affect beings that are omnipotent compared to humans. So it's pretty much a God mode cheat code. They hand over the book to Algid, and she reveals her true colors.
Finally free! Oh, this is just the absolute best day! Let the kingdom of Relay rejoice! Know how I fooled a Lovecraft from my true identity! Let us restore balance! Let the sleeper awake and destroy Howard Lovecraft!
And then Spot rushed Algid, knocked her to the floor, and threatened to eat her if she didn't send Howard back home. Actually, no, because that makes sense.
Spot, what's going on?
Stay close, Master Howard.
I shall take control. I shall no longer be the plaything of fate. With this book and this beast, I shall unite all of the realities as one.
Actually, he just stands there as she reads from the book, summoning what I assume are night gaunts, and turning Spot into his true
Master
self,
Howard,
the
get away.
awakened
Get away.
Spot? Algid, what did you do to Spot? We can restore the cosmic good to Relay.
You allowed me to restore the balance, but it's not cosmic good I'm restoring. I released the evil long ago, and they froze everything. You saw this slumbering destroyer as a pet, and this magnificent book of knowledge as nothing but a ticket home. I have vision beyond this realm that your simple mind could never hope to grasp. I am the beast that haunts your father's dreams. I am the shadow that shall bring your doom. I am the poet that warned them. I am king. I am Abdul Al-Hazred!
Wow, I honestly didn't see that coming. Actually, it's a bit more obvious when you realize that Algid Bunk is an anagram of King Abdul. So, it looks like Lovecraft has fallen victim to the despair of his own stories. In his quest for knowledge, he has realized that he is as insignificant as a mere insect in the grand scheme of reality, a mere tool at best for those whom he is absolutely powerless against. Not even the powers of love and friendship can save him, for those mean nothing in the sight of this uncaring universe.
This is our kingdom too!
What? I'm not gonna ask how you got in, since the guards are super incompetent. I'm more concerned with, 1, how did you know what would happen here? And 2, what exactly do you plan on doing against a shape-shifting magician, an enraged Cthulhu, the crawling chaos, and a small army of night gaunts?
Insolence! I will make you suffer!
Wow. Even your guards think that was pathetic. Gotha gives Howard the book, and he easily makes Cthulhu good again. Abdul, being the genius master villain she is, still can't seem to grasp that her goblins are completely useless and orders them to attack.
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer!
Howard summons a portal back to his bedroom, right as the Night Gaunts remember that they're in this scene. And they're actually good henchmen. So why didn't Abdul just create a bigger army of those when the fight started? Also, what happened to Nyarlathotep? Because he just vanished from this scene. I'll just pretend he got reassigned to Japan. Anyway, it seems that Howard will have to make a choice between going back home or saving his friends. And that's a difficult choice he won't have to make, as he remembers that he has the ultimate cheat code.
Get back to the shadows! Get back!
King Abdul makes her "I'll get you next time" gadget speech before escaping. Howard says his last goodbyes to his friends. Those stupid goblins just stand around, and Howard makes it back home. He and his mother go back to the sanitarium, where the atmosphere is much brighter and more cheerful than at the beginning of the movie.
Your father claims he went to a strange land, and we know he came back different. He's told me his stories. They are maddening, so imaginative, yet so clear. The most merciful thing in the world is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents.
Hello, Father.
Howard?
I have something for you.
You did it! You did it, my boy! Thank you, my boy! Thank you! Now I can get better.
I love you, Father.
Be careful, Howard. You have helped your father. You have helped him a great deal, and he will now be able to get better. But I fear your journey has just begun.
I will learn your secrets, no matter how long it takes me. I will see my friends, and I will go back to Relay. For there, the dark elements of strength, solitude,
grotesqueness, and ignorance combine to form the perfection of the hideous.
So that was Howard Lovecraft and the Frozen Kingdom, and personally, I think it's worth checking out. It succeeds in capturing the creativity of Lovecraft and many of his themes while still being appropriate for a fairly young audience. Granted, it is dumbed down in favor of the obligatory messages of hope and friendship, but Disney does that all the time, so I won't complain. However, I do have 3 major complaints. First, the action scenes were boring. While the animation was decent, the bad guys were so easily overcome that it took away any tension. Second, the Elder Sign coin made victory far too easy. At the very least, they could have connected it to Howard overcoming his fears, so it would have had more of a purpose. And finally, those stupid goblins. It's clear they were supposed to be the comic relief, but they weren't funny in the slightest. I'm sure they were supposed to be rip-offs of the Minions, but the filmmakers failed to grasp what made them so entertaining. Well, some may find them more annoying, but that's still better than being dull. But in spite of these faults, I'd still recommend giving this movie a digital rental at the very least. You might like it, you might not, but you most certainly won't go mad.